City of Northglenn, Channel 8, keeping you informed of events in your community.
I'd like to call the regular city council meeting to order. Joanna, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Downing?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dodge?
Here.
Councilmember Snetzinger? Here. Councilmember Mullica will be absent. Councilmember Sowers will be absent. Councilmember Joe Brown?
Here.
Councilmember Becky Brown?
Here.
Councilmember Whitman? Here. Councilmember Escobar?
Here.
Thank you. Would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tim, are there any responses to citizens' inquiry tonight?
Nothing tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
And are there any agenda additions or deletions from council? Okay, none. Okay, we have two proclamations this evening. I'll read them from here, unless everyone wants to go down.
We're good.
You go down. We want to watch you go down and read.
All right, the first one is Colorado Cities and Towns Week. Whereas municipal government is the government closest to most citizens and the one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents, and whereas the residents of Northglenn rely upon local government to deliver services such as clean water, trash, and recycling, public safety, transportation, and recreational opportunities. And whereas municipal government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to and understanding of its many responsibilities. And whereas municipal government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along their understanding of public service and their benefits. And Colorado Cities and Towns Week is a time to recognize the important role played by municipal government in all of our lives. And whereas the City of Northglenn and other member cities and towns of Colorado Municipal League have joined together to teach students and citizens about municipal government through a variety of projects and information. And whereas Colorado Cities and Towns Week offers an important opportunity to convey to all citizens of Colorado that they can shape and influence government through their civic involvement. Now, therefore, I, Joyce Downing, Mayor of the City of Northglenn, Colorado, do hereby proclaim this week of September 11th through the 17th, 2017 as Colorado Cities and Towns Week in the City of Northglenn, and encourage all residents of every community to actively participate in the events and activities planned in celebration of Colorado Cities and Towns Week in an effort to become more familiar with local government and the services it provides. Dated at Northglenn, Colorado, this 11th day of September, 2017. And then we have one more, and this is for Constitution Week. Whereas it is a privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the 229th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities. And whereas every American shares in this legacy of liberty, and we are grateful for the courage, conviction, and the sacrifice of all those who have helped preserve and uphold the principles of a free society. As we remember the enduring importance of the Constitution, we also recognize our responsibility as citizens to respect and defend the values of our founding and participate in the unfolding story of freedom. And whereas in celebration of the signing of the Constitution and in recognition of the Americans who strive to uphold the duties and responsibilities of citizenship, the Congress, by joint resolution of August 2nd, 1956, the 36 U.S.C. 108th as amended, requested that the week beginning September 17th and ending September 23rd of each year be proclaimed as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, Joyce Downing, Mayor of the City of Northglenn, Colorado, do hereby proclaim this week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Dated at Northglenn, Colorado, this 11th day of September, 2017. We will make sure that these get to the appropriate people.
Mayor,
Yes,
before we move
yes.
on. I noticed the sound is enhanced in here. Are you listening to the sound? Are you picking up the keystrokes? Are they really loud?
I can hear things like pin tapping and keystrokes, yeah.
Okay.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's not bad for the sound that we're projecting, but it sounds
it's
like
echoing.
somebody's,
It's echoing.
and that's nothing against you, Joanne. I mean, you have to do your job. But it's really enhanced, and I mean, it's strange. I've never heard it before.
Yeah.
Is there anything that in the future you could do with that, or?
To take the,
You don't have to unplug her keyboard.
She's gonna have to stop typing is all. Actually, that's been pretty consistent over time. I can hear typing in the keyboards, but it's just background noise. It would be like maybe an air conditioner running or something in the background. When everybody else is talking and the viewer has their volume set to whatever certain level, it's kind of negligible all in all. There is new equipment in here. I don't know anything about it, and I just discovered that tonight. So Joe, you're right, the sound is more enhanced. The microphones, I think the microphones are new, they're picking up pretty well, and we're going through a compressor. So whether you're here or whether you're here doesn't make as much of a difference as it used to. The machine will kind of compensate either way, and it's sounding really good.
Okay, I thought Corey was over there opening a bag of chips, and that's why I'm looking around, trying to figure out, and it was you typing on the keyboard.
And of course, we'll see how it comes out.
Okay.
I think this will be the first one with the new equipment, so if you guys too, if you have the opportunity to check out the sound on it, on Channel 8 and see how it sounds, so.
Cool.
Yep.
Sorry about that, but thank you very much. Sorry.
Northglenn moving into the millennium with its sound system.
That's right. Woo.
Mayor, just to follow up briefly, not to belabor it, but on Friday, I did send out a couple WAV files in my report that was from the CAB from last week, and there was a clip from the same person, the chair, a year ago, and then a 20-second clip from last Wednesday, just so you could see the difference. And my observation is that the ambient noise in the room has really been diminished because of the panels back there and the new equipment. So Bob Blair's prepared to do a similar kind of WAV file cut that he can send to you guys as well, kind of a before and after.
Okay. Very good, thank you. Okay, before we move forward, I just want to mention that today is 9/11, and just want to have a moment of silence for those who have fallen victim 16 years ago. Thank you. Next, we have public invited to be heard. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to council for up to 5 minutes? No one approaching. We will get the financial update. Jason?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the July 2017 finance update. I'll be able to talk a little longer so Bob can cut my voice into whatever file he wants to compare. I'm joking. Moving right along, update on sales and use tax through July. Relatively flat. Again, this has kind of been consistent throughout the year. Sales tax specifically is up 2% now. Use tax is down about 4%. Food tax is up about 2%, and then most everything else is just flat. So when we look at the numbers there, we're just kind of floating along even for the year.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing. Last year at this time, we were up about 6%. So take a couple more years, and we can see some growth over time. On the general fund side of things, you'll see total taxes are at $10.1 million, which is up 0.87% or flat, I would say. And then total revenue is $13.8 million, which is actually, if on the operational side, up 1.5% year over year. We're 58% of the way through the year, and you'll see that collection rate is at 53% for 2017, and that's normal with our standard collections. On the expenditure side of things, in the general fund, total expenditures are at $13.1 million versus $12.8 in the prior year. That's up 2.4%. Again, this is consistent with what we had planned and budgeted. No anomalies to point out in the general fund by department spending. Next, the water and wastewater fund. Total revenues are at just over $7 million and total expenditures of 9.3. Revenues in the fund have grown at 1% year over year, and then expenditures, those fluctuate based off of capital projects. Those are up 65%, and that's based off of the construction at the wastewater treatment plant. Stormwater fund, operating revenues are at $228,000. Expenditures are at $1.5 million. The large expenditure was to support the Grange-Hall Creek project. I think we talked about that last month. No fee changes have been made in the stormwater fund, so we'd expect to see flat revenue, which we do, year over year. And the sanitation fund, total revenues are at just over $1 million and expenditures at $651,000. In this fund, you'll see recycling revenue is up significantly. It's up, collected $11,000 so far this year, and it was less than $2,000 at this time last year. So that commodity's changed in 12 months significantly. Expenditures are in line with what we had budgeted. And then our cash and investments at the end of July were $55.6 million, and that's down slightly from the prior year of about $2 million, again, largely because of the cash funding for the wastewater treatment project. And then on page 10 of the report, you'll see the tax collected by geographic code, and this is consistent with through June collections with the past several months. They got a report today to update through the following month, so a little early to report, but things have looked better in the last month as far as tax collections at these different locations, and then overall tax collections are up closer to about 1.5%. So we'll report on that coming soon, but there's an upward swing in sales and use tax. So with that, is there any questions?
Questions? None. Thank you,
Terrific.
Jason.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have the consent agenda. Please open the vote.
Vote is open.
Please vote.
I'll close that vote, and the consent agenda passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next is ordinances first reading. Joanna?
This is for CB 1896, a bill for an ordinance amending Section 8-2-3 of the Northglenn Municipal Code regarding the imposition of court costs to cover fees associated with sealing records.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor and members of council. This is an ordinance to approve a $65 fee to cover costs associated with sealing records. In the General Assembly this last year, they did pass a bill that would allow for certain expedited processes for sealing records. Largely, they were able to go through municipal court as opposed to having to go through the district court. And this enables the city then to collect a fee up to $65 associated with that service, if you will, that's being provided. So we don't really anticipate any major impact positively or negatively on the budget. We recommend approval.
Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, please open the vote. Please vote.
I'll close that vote, and CB 1896 on first reading passes unanimously. And I would like to note for the record that the public hearing on CB 1896 will be held on September 25th, 2017, here in City Hall Council Chambers.
Thank you. All right, next is communications, and I'll start over with Antonio.
Good, thank you very much.
Mercy.
I have a couple of items tonight. So today, the Anything Libraries held a dialogue discussion with community partners from around Adams County, some of the municipalities, and they had a guest speaker in Hyde, who's the director of the Colorado Resiliency and Recovery Office, and they did a presentation about trying to be proactive and getting, not necessarily anticipating kind of like those shock disasters that many communities have experienced, but trying to be proactive in our communities to get citizens engaged and to have conversation around becoming more of a community and participating. It was a great discussion, and I was glad to participate. Part of that is coming out of their strategic plan that they've been doing, trying to get these partners to come together. And I just wanted to share quickly just a couple of stats that came out of their survey that they did across Adams County. They held 20 roundtables throughout the community. And as a result of that, some of the very things that we've been talking about were some of the things that the 1,400 respondents specifically said they want. And that is 34% want local shopping and restaurants, and they want mom and pops. They're looking for, 8% said community-style events, family-friendly, better traffic and transportation. But then another big one was that they wanted improved rec centers, indoor play spaces, skate parks, swimming pools, and tennis courts, and arts and culture. So I did ask if we can get a copy of this so I can send it to everyone here on council, but it was a good discussion to participate in. And then wanted to also mention that we do have our Ward 3 meeting coming up on Wednesday for folks who aren't able to attend. Please feel free to reach out to Kyle or myself to discuss anything that you might have as a concern. It's just a Q&A, nothing in particular will be highlighted. And then just a reminder, Pirate Fest is this weekend, so hope to see everybody there. And thank you to the city for allowing the Northglenn Community Foundation to provide the beer garden.
Becky.
First of all, I'm so excited about Pirate Fest. I think everybody knows this is my favorite event in the world. I'm really hoping that there are donkeys there for me, so I can have some fun.
Did you say donkey?
Donkeys? It was a drink we had last year. I had a lot of fun with it.
Okay,
We
so
are
I was like, what
premiering,
donkeys did I miss?
Captain Morgan's 3 new flavors,
Oh, well, just remember to drink responsibly.
right?
But it's
We
going to
should
be a
put that
great time. I'm really looking forward to it. I went to the 9/11 appreciation lunch today for the police department and the volunteers, and it was awesome. I enjoyed my pig, and I really like talking to everybody over there. I really like those events. I like when I can fit them into a schedule. I've had 3 lunches this year, physically at work, so this was one of them, and it was really a nice event, really nice event. It did great, and everybody was there with smiles on their faces.
Carol.
The first thing I have is that I was lucky enough to be invited to the Northglenn Thornton Rotary Club's induction of their new officers. And our own ED director, Debbie Tuttle, was inducted as the president this year. So she is the incoming, and it was nice to be there to support her in that. I've got a bit of NAHF news because we held our first meeting after having the entire summer off because we all volunteer at all the concerts and everything else that's going on in the park, the events, so Michael kind of gives us the summer off. So basically the NYT, their registrations continue to increase and they've surpassed any of their prior numbers. Their next production is going to be Mary Poppins, and it will be from November 10th to the 19th. You can go to northglennarts.org. If you have not gone to northglennarts.org, it is a wonderful website for our arts and culture. And you can go into Mary Poppins and buy tickets online through WebTrack. So yay that we have online ticketing now. We are still on track as the Arts and Humanities Foundation to install the native grasses sculptures that will be over at the Westminster Promenade. It is still set to be installed in October. We don't have an exact date yet, but we'll keep you posted on that one. And the drawings that I've seen of the finished product is amazing. I already said before, 25 feet tall on all of these grasses, and it's just really going to make a statement over at the promenade. Sculpture placement as far as sculptures from the Art on Parade from 2016. So we had the tires and spoke sculpture that our wonderful local hero Steve Austin purchased, and he is donating that to the city. That one will be installed. The placement was decided to be in the sculpture park at Centennial Park. So that is where that one will go in. And then the owl, which was the actual winner of the 2016 Art on Parade, will be installed in a really beautiful nature area in the Northwest open space. And we're still kind of trying to hone in on where that will be, but it will be close to the trail system where people can really enjoy it. And it was redone. It was not holding up to people touching it, so it was redone in a bronze, so it will look a bit different now. And it will face so that you can look through the eyes and look out at the mountains. So it's a great placement spot for it. Let's see. So after that, all that arts and cultures is alive and well in Northglenn, and we just have to keep supporting it here because it's important. As Marcy just said, people are looking for arts and culture, so we have it here, and that's really good. The Northglenn Youth Commission, they participated in the United North Metro Relay for Life. So it's a new, it was a new one. It was held over in Westminster in the Christopher Field Softball Complex on Saturday. The kids had a team. They walked the entire 12 hours. They personally raised $1,355, and overall the event raised $116,000, all donated to American Cancer Society. So that's a good one too. And I also attended Local Heroes Backyard Barbecue today, and it was a very good event. And I got to eat cheek meat, which I'd never eaten before. So I can't say it tasted any different than the other meat, but the guys swore that it was the best part of the pig. So thank you for having that and for honoring those who lost their lives at 9/11. That's it.
All right. The Historic Commission is going to have a booth over at Pirates Fest, so I'm looking forward to that. And as soon as you get done at the beer garden, we're going to be right next to the beer garden, and we'll provide trinkets and water or pop. So just in case you don't want to stay at the beer garden. So anyway, so we're really excited about that. It's going to be fun. And then just some news from the Historic Commission. We have rehabbed the old Oscar Arnold tractor, and it's ready to be picked up. So we need to kind of coordinate with Doug Pullen when we're going to get that done. So, and then we're looking and trying to figure out where we would want to place it, or if we just want to keep it over at Stonehopper, because there had been some suggestions, maybe actually putting it over at his old area, you know, where he had the farm. But I don't know if there would be safety issues, you know, if the tractor was there and not secured in some manner, you know, so that's a conversation we're going to have. But it's been painted, and it's got a new carburetor, and everything is cool, you know, so we're excited. All right, that's all I've got. Okay?
Nothing, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, Joanna.
I have nothing tonight, Mayor.
All right, Jim.
Just one item very, very briefly. First of all, thank you for all the support over the last few weeks. I do really sincerely appreciate that, as does my family, so thank you. Second thing, I want to thank staff for conducting the last bit of the budget meetings while I was out. I understand those went very well, which leads me to my question. We're ready to go October 23rd with a resolution to adopt the budget, but we were holding out September 18th as a study session placeholder in case council wanted to have another round of discussion on the budget. I've not heard that you want to do that, or at this point, I haven't heard any, last minute changes to it. So we're recommending that we just take that off the agenda for September 18th unless you'd like to keep it on.
Okay, any comments about that? We want to keep it on, take it off? Need more discussion about the budget?
I would prefer to continue that discussion on the 18th.
Okay?
Do you have any particular area that you want to discuss, or just,
The appropriation for Huron Street.
Okay.
There's, when I met with Mr. Zabota, we were lacking somewhere around 70,000 to make it presentable. They're not doing anything from 104th on the east side all the way to the school property. And that's probably a really bad site.
Okay. So just to clarify, was this, this would be a supplement to the contract we've already issued then?
No. Well, it
Okay.
would be into the budget. of
Oh,
next
so it'd
year.
be new budget for 18, we'd finish the project we have going this year, but
Right.
this would be additional, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to have discussed that evening?
I do not, but if somebody feels that they do, then by
Yep.
all means, would need to put it on the 18th.
All right.
That's what I think.
All right, what about, I was just trying to figure out if it's the whole budget or,
Oh, just.
you know, the highlights. Okay, all right.
That sounds fine. We probably won't have any new information for the packet, but we'll be obviously here for the discussion and we'll go from there.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Corey?
Nothing this evening.
Nothing. All right, then. Next, we have public invited to be heard, up to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that would like to speak to us for up to 3 minutes? No? Okay, so we will now go into executive session. So I move that we go into executive session pursuant to Section 4.5, Parent E of the City of Northglenn Home Rule Charter regarding litigation. Need a second, please? Okay, please open the vote. Please vote.
I'll close that vote, and the motion to meet in executive session passes unanimously.
Okay, I'm going to adjourn the executive session and reconvene the regular council meeting. And the next thing on the agenda is discussion and possible action of the settlement of a pending litigation.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize settlement of the litigation with Thornton consistent with the terms provided by the city attorney.
Okay, Jim, or Corey? Corey.
Mayor and council, you have a draft settlement agreement that has been provided. If this motion is approved, it would authorize settlement on those terms. If those terms change, I would certainly advise, but it is my understanding Thornton will be considering the same terms tomorrow night.
Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Please vote.
I'll close that vote, and the motion to authorize settlement of the litigation with Thornton, consistent with the terms provided by the city attorney, passes unanimously.
Thank you. There is nothing more further on the agenda, so we are adjourned.